Okay, so I'm just gonna get right into it. That the past 3 weeks, I think it has been nothing but lessons. And when I say lessons, I don't mean the small ones. I mean the ones that are actually detrimental to your freaking business if you're not careful. So the first thing is this whole net 10, net 20, or 15, net 30, all of that. It's just like, before you get into working with a company, you need to know what type of payroll they have going on. Because see, you can go through and do a job and then they'll be like, oh, we pay net 30. That means that you can do this job this month and you do not get paid for that job until next month. And a lot of times that's a very long stretch, especially when you have licenses that you have to pay for, insurance that comes up, all of these different type of fees and things of that nature that come up. So it's like, okay, a net 30 is crazy work. A net 10 is okay because that's like every week or like every other week type of payment thing that happens. But man, those net 30s are something serious. I'm waiting on a net 30 right now and I only did one job. One job, and it's a net 30, and I'm having to wait a whole month for one payment for one job. So when y'all getting ready, so when you're going and you're getting ready to do work for a company, make sure that you understand what type of payment that they have. If it's a net 10, net 15, net 20, or net 30. I don't know if it's really a 20, but I do know that there is a 10 and 15 and 30. So just be mindful of those things when you're going into these different companies and you're wanting to start working for them, because it is, you got to know what's going on. That's the first thing. The second one is walking into these different jobs, understanding what their expectations is, because sometimes some companies will have you going through and just doing a light clean. Other ones, they expect for you to do a deep clean, and their deep clean is something completely different from the next. Another thing is understanding when these companies come through, they have these expectations. So one company's deep clean might not be like the next company's deep clean. One company's deep clean might be you going through and pulling out appliances and things of that nature. I am literally a $120. I'm not able to do those type of things. So having in place and understanding the expectations before you walk into these people's before you walk on these properties and understanding exactly what's going on, you have to ask questions, understand what the scope of work is. Did I say expectations? Because that's a really big deal. Listen, so knowing what it is that they're expecting of you and being able to be like yes or no to those terms and conditions is a very big deal before you walk in ready to work or ready to do what it is that you're used to doing, and being able to follow their guidelines of what they consider clean and what's not clean. I know a lot of times that people tend to have a lack of communication when it comes down to some of these properties and dealing with companies. The lack of communication can be a really big stickler when it comes down to payments. They can go through and be like, oh, you didn't do X, Y, and Z. And then they'll be like, oh, well, I had to go and find somebody else to fix the problems that you didn't fix or the things that you didn't do. As a private contractor, it is so detrimental. I have just found this out, is that you, just like you walk into their offices or establishments and they make you sign paperwork, you've got to have your own paperwork as well for them to sign. Just like they want you to sign paperwork to work for them, they need to sign paperwork for you to work for them. So you got to have your own terms and conditions. You got to have your own expectations. You have to have your rules when it comes down to things of that nature. Like, oh, if you don't like the work that I did for you, call me to come fix it. And if we agree on this type of payment that you're going to pay me this amount, it needs to say that. There's no changing it in the middle, because see, us as contractors, when you're saying that you're going to pay me this amount and then now it's less than that, I was expecting to get that amount and I need it for what I need it for. So I'm telling you, this week has been so educational. It has been a roller coaster ride, and I say this all the time, being an entrepreneur, it is not, every day is not the same. And I'm learning so much when it comes down to being a private contractor, doing my own thing, not working for a company. I had a person come to me and they was like, so are you expecting for me to pay you this much an hour? And I'm looking like, absolutely. I didn't say this to them, but I'm thinking to myself, absolutely, I'm expecting for you to pay me this an hour, because I'm not a W-2 worker. I'm not a W-2 worker. If I was a W-2 worker, whatever it is that you are wanting to pay me an hour, I would be just fine with that. But since I am a W-9, I'm having to provide my own insurance, because granted, you wouldn't want me to work for you if I didn't have insurance, correct? I have to pay that every month. I'm having to put gas in my vehicle. I'm having to make sure that all of my licenses to work around in these different environments are up to date. I'm having to make sure that I have the supplies needed to go through and provide the services for you. So absolutely, I expect for you to pay me this amount an hour. Now, I don't know what the other workers are here doing for you, or whatever type of things that you all have, that agreements that you all have, but as far as I'm concerned, Absolutely. So, you just really got to be picky, I'm finding out, when it comes down to some of these different companies, because these companies have their rigid guidelines and they're not willing to budge. And a lot of times, if they're not willing to budge and it's not fitting into your scope of how you want to run your business, I say don't be afraid to walk away. If it's not fitting you, walk away. Don't sit there and just do it because you feel like, oh, I have to do this. No, there is other people out there that's willing to pay you what it is that you want to get paid. They're not going to go back and forth with you about this and that. Small stuff, I had another situation where the conversation was going beautifully. They were like, oh, I have a property that needs a weekly clean and I was wanting to go through, I'm looking for a cleaner. They reached out to me. I didn't find him. They actually reached out to me. So I was like, oh shoot, people starting to find me. So instantly I was excited. The conversation went on. I mean, me and this person were texting back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. No space in between us responding to each other. They respond 1 second, I respond the next second. They respond 1 second, I respond the next second. Then it comes down to all of these weird questions. I've never worked with this person. I've never seen them. I don't know them. They were like, okay, you're going to be coming in. It was 2 days prior to what they wanted me to come in and do the work. I'm like, okay, fine. They was like, the day before, I'll send you the address. I'll send you the code. I'm like, okay, perfect. Cool. We talked about prices and how much everything was going to be. Not a problem. Instantly, yes, cool. Then they were like, oh, I have some items that are coming to the property while you're going to be there working. Is it okay for you to go through and sign for those or or just bring the packages in? I'm like, okay, if I'm there and they come, I'll do that. No problem. Then it comes down to, oh, okay, well, so what's the name of the business? And I'm like, of course, it's Certified Pro Cleaning. So they're like, okay, so who do you bank with? Who do you bank with so I can make sure that I get the check endorsed? I'm like, that's a weird ass question. I didn't say you don't need my banking information, but I was just like, if you go through and write it out to the company, my company's name, I'll take that up with who I'm cashing my check with. You don't need to know who I'm banking with. So I'm saying that to say this. I don't know what happened, but after I avoided that question, it was just like all bets were off. They stopped communicating, they stopped responding, all because I didn't tell them who I bank with. And as a small business owner, I feel like, you should definitely be very cautious of the people that you're going into business with or that you're looking to work with, especially if you don't know them and they're not an actual company. That is one thing I can say. When you're working with these companies, they'll protect you from things like that because they have those clients who they've been doing business with for a long time. But when you're out here and you're finding those clients on your own or they're coming to you, you have to be so careful with giving out certain information because there's so many scammers and all of those different things that try to target small businesses. Like, who knows if I would have told them who I bank with, if they already have my business name, they have my Gmail, they have my phone number. Now you have my bank. I don't even know what they could do with some information like that, but just being skeptical on the questions and the things the information that you give clients, it's just like, only thing as a cleaner that I need to know and that you need to know from me is if I'm insured, if you want my licensing, if it's up to date, and whatever your preference of me cleaning is. It's just like, my bank, what the hell does it have to do with anything? Do you want me to come clean for you or not? Like, I don't get it. So that was so weird, and it had me like so blowed because I'm like, dang, just because I didn't tell you who I bank with, now you don't want to work with me? So weird. If anybody knows what that was about, could you please give me some type of intel, because I am so confused by that right now, and it just really blew my mind. But anyways, y'all, this is just my update of what I've been going through for the past 3 weeks, and when I tell you it has been crazy, I literally had to go through and write up a whole packet to have clients' businesses signed before I even start working for them, because there's some things that I am willing to do and then there's some things that I'm just not willing to do, and if it's a problem, then maybe we just don't fit. So having that fine line of what it is that you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do, that's a really big deal. And don't feel desperate. Desperation to have you doing things that you probably wouldn't necessarily do if you weren't. And for me, I'm in a very, very, very crazy place right now because I am not working for someone else. So please, y'all, do not go through and make decisions off of desperation. Don't feel like every person that comes to you or every person that you go to, y'all have to go through and start working and have a business relationship. Some people are just not a fit, and that's okay, and it's fine. And it just takes some time, and that's what I'm having to tell myself. So hopefully this helps someone in some type of way, as usual. And if you like this video, y'all, please give me a thumbs up. I know that it has been a while since I have given you an update personally. I've been posting my other cleaning videos. If you enjoy those, please do not be afraid to go through and show some support to those videos as well. And I will keep you all updated on what it is that I'm learning. If you all have any tips or tricks or anything up your sleeve that you want to share with me or share with other people that might see it, please do not be afraid to comment below, and let's keep this thing going.